Welcome to this E-MetroTel Australia live webinar. This event is hosted by John Owens, Technical Director Australia, and Pestonji. In this session, Abbas Zaidi, Channel Sales, and Mark Simmons, Industrial Design and Marketing Leader, present an overview of our complete portfolio of unified communications products and services and explore how organizations can transition from legacy PBX systems to modern hybrid communications with ease. Let's jump right in. Over to you, Abbas and Mark.
Hi everybody, my name's Abbas. I work in channel sales for E-MetroTel. Alongside me are my colleagues Mark, who is the marketing director for E-MetroTel. I have John, who leads support for the Australian region for E-MetroTel, and I have Gev, who leads channel sales for the Australian region for E-MetroTel. Today's presentation, today's webinar, we're going to go over some of E-MetroTel's offerings, what unique propositions we bring to the market, why our reseller partners should resell us, and what differentiates us from other brands in the market. On the agenda today, we have a brief introduction about us, our background, where does E-MetroTel come from, then a bit of a deep dive into what exactly we do. In essence, we'll be covering the products that we have, the verticals we serve, and how we serve those verticals. And then lastly, I'm going to close it off by reiterating some of our value propositions and by comparing us to some of the brands in the market. And hopefully we're going to end on a Q&A. I'm going to handle the introduction and the summary as well as the Q&A, while Mark will be handling bulk of the webinar today and telling you about our products. So with that being said, let's just jump into some of the background of what E-MetroTel is. It's a newer brand. It's a lesser known brand in the market. So I'm sure many of you might not exactly be aware of how it was formed, where it's coming from. So that's why we decided to put in this slide. Now, E-MetroTel was founded in 2009 when Nortel was acquired by Avaya by some of Nortel's engineers. And they found this brand as a means to continue serving Nortel customers who did not want to go over to Avaya. And that's how it started. Eventually, they started serving Avaya legacy systems. They started serving Panasonic legacy systems. They started serving NEC legacy systems. And hopefully soon you'll see Toshiba and Shotel on our platform as well. We are a global company. We're based in the Americas. We're based in Australia. We're based in Asia, and we have a European division as well. And another important part about this is that we are a self-funded company. We are completely debt-free, no banks, no VCs, not a private company. So unlike many companies that you see in the market today, we are not at risk of like foreclosure. We're not at risk of just, going out and giving our partners a call and saying, okay, we're going out of business, you're on your own, unlike many others who we now support have done in the past. And I believe that's it in terms of the background. And then Mark, maybe a bit of a deep dive into where we are right now.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Abbas. As Abbas mentioned, I'm the industrial design and marketing lead at E-MetroTel. Also, I worked at Nortel. That was my first internship out of university, and I also worked at Avaya. So a bit of a history in telecom. All right, so kicking off our brand pillars, we'll touch on these a lot throughout our presentation, so I won't go too deep into them. Basically, first, always secure, always private. Encryption is built in from day one. It's not layered on as an extra service. Second, the power of one, which means phones, apps, servers, clouds, everything is all engineered to work together from one vendor and one support path. And lastly, we have our green migration strategy. We modernize without forcing customers to throw out working equipment. they get new features, maintain all their old features, and there's no disruption, and we try to minimize waste. And those three pillars kind of tie directly into this next slide. Most organizations, when they're considering a communications migration, run into the same problems. They're told they have to rip out all their existing phones and wiring. They worry about losing features during the transition. They're often stuck with multiple vendors, one for voice, one for collaboration, one for mobility, and nothing quite, works well together. And on top of that, security becomes harder because of this kind of fragmented and scattered vendor kind of supply chain. So at E-MetroTel, we try to solve those challenges with green migration. Like I mentioned before, you can often keep a lot of your legacy products. Extensions, routing, and features all stay intact. So users don't have to change or retrain. And because we offer a full end-to-end ecosystem, everything is unified and secured. One platform, one vendor, one supply path. And our deployments are flexible. We do on-premise, private cloud, or hybrid. All right, moving into what we do, our kind of ecosystem. So E-MetroTel is a complete communications ecosystem from the core, our UCX platform, to our endpoints. At the center, we have our UCX platform, which I mentioned before can run on-premise, in the cloud, or hybrid. Connected to that, we have our Galaxy appliances, and they can, scale from small offices to large multi-site deployments. And because they're modular and repairable, you can kind of upgrade as you go. We also provide cloud services such as SIP trunks, integrations in cloud business. And then we have our new endpoints, our Infinity 7000 series, our 5000 series, as well as our DECT. And then also our web clients and soft phones and apps. And of course, we also support legacy hardware from Avaya, NEC, Panasonic, and Nortel. So I'll dive a little deeper into each one of those products. We have our Galaxy appliances. They're our hardware foundation of our ecosystem, and they follow the same philosophy we bring to everything we build. They're modular, flexible, and built to last. So the smallest one, our Galaxy Mini, it supports small offices and remote sites. The Pro scales into mid-market environments. The Express adds survivability and expansion, and the Expand is our kind of enterprise chassis for large deployments. And what sets them apart is they're kind of this modular card-based design. So if you need to upgrade or if something goes wrong, instead of having to replace the entire unit, you can just swap out the cards, whether it's an analog, SIP, or a PRI, or a storage, or more processing power. So that makes the hardware, repairable, upgradable, and sustainable. Moving on to our cloud services. I've mentioned this before, but our UCX can be deployed on-premise or in the cloud or as a hybrid system. And the great part is the experience is the same regardless. Same programming, same features, same call logic. And because we're built on AWS, customers get enterprise-grade uptime, performance, and global scalability. We also offer predictable annual pricing, so customers can move to the cloud on a budget, basically. Next up, we have our endpoints. Our new 7000 series, which is kind of coming out right now. In the next couple months, we'll have the 5-inch phone. I've got a prototype here sitting on my desk. Really excited about that. And then the 2 8-inch display models will be coming out early Q1 of 2026. And then we have our more kind of budget-friendly Infinity 5000 series, as well as our Infinity DECT products. Moving into our soft phones, our Infinity Web Client and our Infinity 3065 apps. Basically, these collaboration tools allow users to get calling, messaging, video, presence, and voicemail all in kind of one unified interface. And that interface is the same across all devices, including the 7000 series phones. So it's the same UI, the same experience, So it's ideal for hybrid and remote work. And because access is secure, it doesn't require a VPN. Users can work from anywhere with a consistent experience and a full feature set. Diving a little deeper into the video conferencing, with our on-premise video servers, organizations get video conferencing while keeping complete control of their data. Unlike public cloud platforms where every call is routed externally, our video servers can sit inside the customer's network, which means video traffic never leaves the building unless they want it to. There is no per user video licenses. It's basically like a one-time perpetual fee, so customers can scale without driving up subscription costs. And because video is routed locally, bandwidth drops significantly and call quality improves, especially in large offices. This gives organizations kind of maximum privacy, lower operating costs, and you don't have to rely on a third party, which is especially important for any kind of secure facility like government or healthcare or finance. All right, and lastly, we've got our Microsoft Teams integration. Our Infinity fully integrates with Microsoft Teams, so calling, collaboration all happen right within the Teams interface. And there's no extra licensing from Microsoft or E-MetroTel. It's embedded, not an add-on. We also support omni-channel communications inside Teams, which means it kind of gathers voice, chat, SMS, WhatsApp, social messaging, reporting, analytics, all in that one unified interface. There's also the optional AI for smart routing, transcription, and agent assist. Basically, you can add capabilities which usually cost quite a bit, and it's hybrid and scalable. And it allows you to extend kind of Teams communications without expensive upgrades, typically associated with Microsoft calling plans. And I'll pass it back to you, Abbas, for why it matters.
Okay, thank you so much, Mark, for the introduction to our products. Okay, guys, now Mark told us a bit about what products we serve. Now I'm gonna get into why we make sales. And just before I get into the slide that you all can see, I'll talk about what's unique about eMetroTel and how you can actually go ahead and sell eMetroTel. Like, why would somebody even buy eMetroTel over, let's say, Avaya or Cisco, the major players in the market, or even some of the local high volume players like Yealink or GrandStream, right? So firstly, I'm sure you are all aware about the green migration and what it actually means. Now, if there's some confusion, I'm just going to give a small overview about what exactly green migration is. So, green migration is a migration strategy that's unique to eMetroTel, through which eMetroTel is able to reuse phones from, let's say, NEC or Avaya, Panasonic, Nortel natively. Now, these are not SIP phones. This is not like a cloud that's just reusing IP phones from other brands. We can reuse digital phones or IP phones. We can reuse both on our cloud and our on-prem. So you can reuse digital phones on our on-prem as well. Natively means on their native firmware. So for Avaya, we are currently working on H323 firmware as well. So once you plug in Avaya phones to an eMetroTel PBX, those phones will work on Avaya's H323 firmware. For NEC, it's NEC's custom SIP. For Panasonic, it's Panasonic's native firmware. For Nortel, it's the same. That's essentially a green migration. Nobody else in the market can do this. The other thing that I also said previously was that we are able to run digital phones on our cloud. Nobody else in the market again can do this or is able to do this. And this brings me to the current slide that I have in front of you, which firstly shows you that in the future of communications, security expectations are higher, subscription fatigue is rising, hybrid remote work is permanent. And I'll tell you why these 3 points are what we focus on. So, firstly, as one of the only brands in the market with an on-prem server. But alongside the on-prem server, we also have perpetual licensing. Essentially, what that means is, unlike a lot of the other brands in the market that have like recurring costs for licensing or recurring costs for using their server, we charge a one-time fee for using our extensions, using our licenses on our on-prem servers. So you can pitch that benefit to your customers and say, okay, you pay this one time and you're done. And nobody else in the market offers that, right? So it's a point of differentiation. And hybrid and remote work is the same, right? Because since we are able to integrate our cloud, our on-prem servers, all of that, you can have people all over the globe onto one server, or people all over Australia, let's say, on one cloud server that is centralized. Now, the security expectations point is something I really want to get into, and I want to get into it through 2 points. So, firstly, our phones. Now, the phones that we are just rolling out in the market are 7000 series, the touchscreen phones that Mark showed you guys. Those are completely end-to-end manufactured in the United States. And alongside being manufactured in the United States, they are also Linux based. Now, being in the industry for as long as you people have, you know that Linux is that much more secure, and being made in the USA is that much more of a selling point to your customers. We focus on security first and foremost, and I believe when you compare to a lot of the other brands, that brings us out on top. And coming to my last slide, and talking about why you choose E-MetroTel, I'll go over these one by one. And firstly, high margins, right? E-MetroTel prices you, we invoice you, you invoice your customer, and between that, we do not set any margin, any limit of what margin you can charge. So you are able to charge however much you want, whether that's 200%, 300%. We do not limit that. Our MSRP, our pricing is not public. You cannot find it anywhere out there. So yeah, you can pretty much charge anything. And yes, if you're able to get the deal, that's great for you. Market expansion, we enable our partners to expand their base solely by giving them that much more options. So recently, what I've done within the past couple of months is I've gotten a lot of NEC resellers in, and even though they have bases of like 1,000 NEC extensions out there, what they can also now do is they can also go ahead and see that there's a particular retail store in their neighborhood that has Panasonic phones, and they can go ahead and pitch a migration to them that brings them on a supported system while mitigating the migration cost. So no upfront cost of replacing the endpoints, no rewiring, just replacing the PBX in the back. And this expands their market. And then one vendor, one ecosystem point is really important, especially for resellers like you, right? Because when your customer calls you and say, okay, my call is just giving me such a loud echo, and nobody's sure whether this is about the SIP trunks or whether this is about the phone or whether this is about the PBX in the back, right? Because those three are all from different customers. You have a Yearlink phone, a Grandstream PBX, and Spectrum SIP trunks, right? So this is how the market is structured today. E-MetroTel mitigates that problem by offering all of these things through one vendor. You have our cloud server, you have our on-prem server, you have our SIP trunks, and you have our phones, and that mitigates the problem. We have modern plus legacy compatibility. Essentially, what that means is that once you migrate a customer over, let's say an NEC customer over to an E-MetroTel PBX, a supported system, and you see an endpoint failing, let's say an IP phone that NEC had, you are able to remove that one particular phone and put in a brand new NEC phone or a brand new E-MetroTel phone, which is what we prefer, which because it's that much more secure, like I said. We have flexible deployment opportunities for you guys. You are able to do a hybrid deployment, cloud deployment, on-prem deployment. Security, I've already talked about. The cost effective part is divided into two things. Firstly, the upfront cost, right? You're saving on replacing all of the phones in one go, replacing all of the wiring in one go. But the second thing that you also need to think about is a lot of these subscription models, they're never ending, right? Till the day you die, you are going to pay RingCentral's monthly fee of using an extension. With E-MetroTel, you do not have that because of perpetual licensing. It's a one-time fee, one-time payment, and that is it. And I believe that is also it for our presentation and our webinar today. I believe we'll open the floor for any questions that you guys might have now. Mark, I do not believe we have any questions today.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Are you just one question here? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Are you currently offering these services to the consumers
Yes.
through the channel partners or directly E-MetroTel?
We're channel partner focused, so we offer through the channel partners.
Through the channel partners. Okay. Have you sold any solutions to the government sector as of now?
Yeah, we've so depend on what country you're talking about. We've sold to a lot
Australia.
of
I'm calling from Sydney.
okay. So we've sold to a lot of government channels in a lot of different countries. Specifically for Australian channel, I believe Gav would be able to provide you with an answer. But I can tell you from a case that I'm intimately aware of, which is in the US, we have a contract with the US Department of Energy where we have around 6,500 extensions. And we replaced a Nortel system in there.
Okay.
Nishi, can you hear me? This is Gabe. I just wanted to add to Abbas's comment about specifically about Australia. We are as yet not on any of the government panels, but certainly we can work behind partners who are already on those government panels because that is one way to get into the government.
Would you assist your partners to come and sell for them in participation of tenders, this and that?
Of course, Nishi. Not a problem. So we can talk about that. We can discuss that, right?
For a small consumer, your partners can offer them the similar phone services as RingCentral is offering currently?
Yes.
Yes, much better and much cheaper.
Okay.
Do we have any other questions today?
Just another question, Abbas, from Eric. How seamless is that green transition in terms of configuring legacy handsets on the Galaxy PABX, like NEC digital phones or analog ones? How user-friendly is the GUI, or is it remotely accessible, the on-prem Galaxy device?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the question, firstly. So yes and yes. It it is very user-friendly in the sense that it does have open source elements to it. It is completely documented. So if you go to our website and from there navigate to our documentation, you will be able to find everything that you need on our documentation side, how to program every single thing. It is remotely accessible through the remote VPN service that you can access to our partner portal. Um, in terms of the programming, we have free trainings that are held monthly. You're able to register as many people as you like. They will help you throughout the training uh, and help you with your particular case that you would have. They will also help you with our technical support team will also help you with your first deployment, because we know that the first deployment is critical and the partners are not that used to our system. So we help them with the programming on that end as well. Other than that, if needed, we are always open to set up a catered session for any one of our channel partners and take them through any case questions that they might have and teach you how to program.
Thank you.
No worries.
Abbas, I've spoken with John and Gev about this, which is probably a bit of a sore point, but hot doc integration in Australia, is that going to be a thing?
Sorry, what integration?
Hot doc, which is an online patient portal. John and Gev are aware of it. I'm not sure whether it's something that's been addressed with you at all, but John, you might be able to elaborate possibly, because we have had another inquiry.
John, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry, Peter. We have persisted with hot docs, and we've even suggested that they're displaying anti-competitive behaviour by only giving their integration to one PABX vendor, and they've gone away to think about it, but they are not playing ball. I don't know why. It would surely generate more business for them.
Yep.
But they're not working with anyone other than one particular vendor.
Yep. Okay. All right. I don't know whether there's anything else you can do to push that further, but I guess we'll leave that with you.
Yeah. We are still trying. We have not given.
Thanks, John.
Okay, are there any other questions for now? I don't believe so. Guys, if you come up with any questions, please feel free to email either me, Gav, or email the sales email that you can see right in front of your screens. We'll be able to answer any of your questions. The last question that was just about the, I believe, hot docs. I will work on it with John and see what that is about. I'm not intimately familiar with it myself. Other than that, I believe Gav can email you the presentation if you come up with any questions. If you wanna reach out to us, if you wanna enroll in any of our trainings, just reach out to us on email, call us on the number on that extension, and we'll be happy to help. And thank you guys for joining. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thanks to everyone for joining us. If you want to learn more about E-MetroTel's UCX platform, Infinity One, or hybrid communication solutions, visit E-MetroTel.com or reach out at sales@E-MetroTel.com. Be sure to catch our upcoming webinars for more demos, tutorials, and product insights. See you next time.